are feeling when they feel like this clinic director is responsible for my mother dying, or my sister, my brother, my wife, somebody dying? Or is there going to be attack, physical attack? Are you going to shoot somebody because they kill your brother or your sister? So there's so much psychological stuff that hasn't even been talked about now. But I tell you, there's going to be a lot of people upset when people tell them to go back in here, and then somebody gets sick and dies as close to them. So, I'm just telling my people, let's stay in the house. I mean, I know everybody wants to get back out, but like I said, is it worth your life? All of this stuff that we have, or that we're trying to do, all this money we're going to make, it doesn't mean anything to you if you're dead. So, they better keep that in mind before they, rush back into these places when they know it's not safe.
Wearing me out, Doc.
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to find something good. I'm trying to leave on a positive note. You're knocking me out, Doc. I'm not coming out. Not only am I not going outside, I'm not leaving this damn room. I'm gonna stay right here where I am. I'm not even talking to people in my house. I don't know. My man. Put my mask.
We'll be talking to you next time.
Keep my mask right on in the house.
That's right.
Woo.
That's right.
Dr. Hank, you got the you give me. Is there? I know this is going to be hard, but can we get some? Is there some? Have we learned anything good? Is there any positive in this? In the short, well, maybe not short. Yeah. Anyway,
I think
what we've learned so far is that social distancing is working. Mm-hmm. Isolation is working. We know that testing has started. We aren't doing it in the numbers that we need to, but it's starting. I see reports all the time that a new testing site opened. So we're getting there. There are some positives. We know they're working on the vaccine. I read a study from my alma mater, Meharry Medical College, that one of the infectious disease doctors is working on a vaccine that seems very promising. So around the world, people are working on this situation, trying to come up with a cure. So we're in the works. It's just unfortunate we're not putting our best foot forward. But we have many people working on there, and they've told you right now the only thing you can do is stay out of the way. And that is working. People who are staying out of the way are not falling dead from coronavirus. People who are in their houses are doing fine. Nobody's getting sick. Only the people who are already infected or are getting infected because they're out there. So if you want, we didn't know that at first, but we know that now. So there is hope. And that is, if you stay safe, put that mask on, be covered, clean everything well, that works. The virus doesn't last forever. It'll die on the surface. Clean it up with the Lysol, or I wouldn't inject it, but clean up with the Lysol. Bleach, it works. There's a lot of things that have come positive during this thing. So listen to what those things that are working, and forget the suggestions from 45, because he's not a doctor. He's mentioned that several times, but he also said he should have been a doctor because he's so smart. But those are good positive things that we have learned.
Yeah, Lord. Dr. Hankins, I know you got a different kind of positive word there.
So, God pays close attention to our responses, particularly going through tough times. In fact, he sits and he brags on his children, or so. When we have you noticed my servant Job? I mean, he brags on you, or so, particularly if you're going through a difficult time, yet in the midst of your tough time, as you're getting to the other side of through, you're able to do what the psalmist said in the 24th chapter: lift up ye heads, O ye gates, so that the King of glory can come in. particularly during that tough time. So my encouragement to my folks here and to everyone is to lift up your heads and keep your eye, as long as you keep your eyes on the horizon and not focused on your feet or at your situation, but keep your eyes looking over the horizon and anticipation for what God is sending on the other side or so. And then know that he's right there with you in the midst as you're going through. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of darkness and death, or corona, or whatever it may be, I will fear no evil. Why? Because you're with me.
Amen.
I just encourage people to say, know that, and in spite of all of what we see, in spite of the numbers, the people, the misinformation or whatever, keep your eyes on God and notice that, and know that God is paying close attention to our response or so, because he's looking for us to repeat the promises that he's already given us. He's promised that he would never leave us nor forsake us, and he's listening and watching us closely. And I want to glorify his name in my responses,
Yes.
and maybe he'll say, look at that brother Ron down there. He's trying his best to hold on, although those people going all over the place. So politically, economically, he's trying to keep the faith. And so rather than say, look at that brother down and he's a doggone fool. What in the world I'm going to do with him,
Down there drinking Lysol and injecting Clorox.
So let's glorify him in the midst of our challenge.
Amen. Now we can leave on those words. That's good. That's good. That's good. I want to get up now and try this and tell some other folks, to tell them that. But we want to thank you, Dr. Eugene Albright and Dr. Ronnie Hankins. Thanks so much for your input, your insight, and the work that you're doing. And it's important, and what you're doing in our communities and for our communities is something that is desperately needed. But Chief,
yes, sir.
You got something else you want to say? You got something? Come on, you got to have something. You got something?
I can't follow behind Dr. Hankins and Dr. Albright.
You don't want to follow behind that. You'll mess that thing up.
No, sir, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm not qualified.
Son, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
That's right. I can't do it.
Dude, you put something on your Corona can't get off. Lysol can't wash off.
Right, man. I just know Reverend Dr. Hankins and Dr. Albright, you've motivated me. No longer will I seek Lysol in my veins.
No, you don't want that, yo. No, you don't. No Lysol.
I don't want no Clorox pills. Thank you. I'm redeemed.
Well, that's good. But we want to thank our guests. We want to thank our listeners for joining us and keeping us on your mind and joining in the conversation. But we're going to be back next week. We're going to have something decent. We're going to talk about it now. We'll talk about it later. How about that, Chief? That's you don't want to let them know now.
There you
but
go.
it'll be something. It won't be coronavirus. It won't be coronavirus related. Well, actually, it will kind of be, but a little bit, but not really. But again, we want to thank Dr. Eugene Albright, Dr. Ronnie Hankins. Thanks so much for your participation, the work you're doing. And where are we? We're in Odessa, Texas for Dr. Hankins.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Albright is in where?
Riverside, California.
California, way on the left coast. Yeah, that's a whole lot of stuff going on out there all the time. So we're gonna keep everybody prayed up. But as usual, we want to thank you folks for joining us for another week, and we want to thank you for allowing us to give it to you straight, no chaser.
Bye. You've been listening to Straight, No Chaser. So join us next week for more hot topics. And also, you can always catch us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, iHeartRadio.